What is up, everyone? My name is Jack Saffel, back again with another WrestleMania review, and today I'm here for my WrestleMania 21 review. This took place at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. So we kick things off with Lillian Garcia singing America the Beautiful. Does a great job of it. She did it at WrestleMania 2000, now she's doing it again for WrestleMania 21. She absolutely nailed it. So, the opening intro, I love the opening intro for WrestleMania 21. I love the whole theme of it as well. It's WrestleMania Goes Hollywood. So, they contain a compilation of, like, superstars reenacting famous movie scenes. So, you have a bunch of wrestlers doing the whole talking to me bit. You have Eugene, parodying Forrest Gump. Triple H as Braveheart. Kurt Angle and Christy Hemme with the When Harry Met Sally scene, Undertaker as Dirty Harry, a whole bunch of stuff. And however, they showed a full trailer for this parody of Gladiator, and the Gladiator was actually Stone Cold Steve Austin, and yeah, it was really funny. I thought it was a very interesting way to start off the show. And we have JR and the King for the Raw commentary, and Michael Cole and Taz for the SmackDown commentary. So SmackDown kicks things off with their match, which is Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio. So both of these guys were tag team champions at the time. The previous month at No Way Out, they had beaten the Basham brothers to get the WWE tag team titles, and these two just had great chemistry with each other. These two would go on to have maybe the best feud of 2005, or at least one of the top ones, definitely. So yeah, they had a great blend of just high-flying maneuvers throughout the entire match, and just the quick-pace action between the two was just really great. Mysterio won by hitting a Hurricane Runner and pinning him to get the victory in a very good opening match. So the two shook hands afterwards, but as the months would progress in their feud, it would get much more personal, much more vicious. Eddie would eventually turn on Rey because he is so obsessed with wanting to beat Rey Mysterio. That was the one thing in his career he never accomplished. He never was able to beat Rey Mysterio, and it just drove him to the point of not insanity, but just pure anger. Like, he even brought his son Dominic into it and said that he was his real father, and the two had a ladder match for the custody of Dominic at SummerSlam. So, unfortunately, though, this would be Eddie's last WrestleMania appearance, as he would, unfortunately, pass away in November later that year, which, it hurts, man. It hurts that we'll never get to see an Eddie Guerrero match, and it's a shame that we never got to see some great potential matches he could have had in the next coming years if he were to not pass away. But that's just life, unfortunately, and there's nothing we can really do about it. So yeah, rest in peace to Latino Heat Eddie Guerrero. So after that match, JBL and his cabinet, which was made up of Orlando Jordan, who was the US champion at the time, and the Basham brothers, Doug and Danny, they were walking backstage when they ran into Triple H and Ric Flair. So both of these guys were the world champions around this time and before, and so the two mocked each other as champions, and they advised each other that they should be worried about trying not to lose their matches, and then Triple H proclaims how, you know what, we'll just find out at the end of the night who the champions are. So yeah, nice little bit of I'd say foreshadowing for the last two matches on the card. So yeah, I didn't mind that. After that was the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match. Chris Jericho, the man who came up with the idea of Money in the Bank, and also in the match was Chris Benoit, Christian, with Tyson Tomko in his corner, Shelton Benjamin, Edge, and Kane. So wow, this was, I'd say, another revolutionary ladder match, definitely. This had some great moments in it, like for the first ever Money in the Bank. Like, it definitely set the tone for the years to come for Money in the Bank ladder matches. So we had some great moments, like Kane jumping off the top rope and then diving onto all the other participants in the match. Shelton Benjamin, in my opinion, has to be the greatest Money in the Bank participant to never win a Money in the Bank, because he was an absolute standout in this match, and he would be in the years to come whenever he would be in a ladder match or Money in the Bank ladder match. He hit a T-bone suplex from the top of a ladder, and he even ran up another ladder that was leaned on the ladder Jericho was climbing up, and stopped him from grabbing the briefcase. So Benoit was close to winning the match, and even beforehand he hit a diving headbutt off the top of a ladder onto Kane, opening up his wound that had like some stitches in his head. It opened that up a little bit, and Benoit was close to winning until Edge smacked him in the back with a chair as he fell and landed pretty badly on his shoulder. It looked pretty bad. But Edge was able to grab the briefcase and become the first ever winner of the Money in the Bank ladder match. So, yeah, what an amazing accomplishment for Edge to win the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match. And not only that, this would propel Edge to superstardom. He would, after he would cash in his Money in the Bank on John Cena at New Year's Revolution the next year, he would just become one of the biggest stars in the WWE for the next couple of years. And this was probably the launching point of his main event push. So yeah, great match, and yeah, definitely a great way to set the tone for Money in the Bank ladder matches as the first ever one. So we get Eugene. Good old Eugene. I have a soft spot in my heart for him. His character was a little bit offensive, because they were trying to go for like a mentally handicapped sort of a character, and he talked about how his favorite moment was at WrestleMania 3 when King Kong Bundy got attacked by the midget. So yeah, he basically has the mind of a child. So he gets interrupted by another very controversial gimmick. Muhammad Hassan and Khosrow Davari, who were Arab Americans, and yeah, this was a very sensitive type of a character, considering where the world was at this time. He's upset from being excluded from WrestleMania and says that Hollywood is filled with fakes and has a history with discrimination. And so Hassan and Davari then attack Eugene. They lock in the camel clutch on him until Hulk Hogan shows up to a massive ovation from the crowd. And, you know, he makes the save for Eugene. He beats the crap out of Hassan and Davari. And he just got inducted into the Hall of Fame the previous night. So this was a huge ovation from the crowd. He did the whole posing in the ring and everything, and the crowd just loved it. So yeah, it was a great moment, I will say, for Hulk Hogan to kind of come out there and to get a good response from the crowd. It was really great to see. And after that was Randy Orton, the legend killer, trying to kill the legend of The Undertaker. So this match was fucking great. I really liked this match. This is probably one of the most underrated matches in Undertaker's career, probably. So, Orton was a babyface around this time after he got turned, after Evolution turned his back on him after winning the world title at SummerSlam. And so he was a babyface for the start of 2005, but when he started challenging The Undertaker for WrestleMania, he started to turn heel more and more, and he challenged him to a match, I think on Raw or SmackDown, something like that. And then on the highlight reel the next week, Jake the Snake Roberts comes out to give Orton some advice on his match, but he gets an RKO from Orton, and so they have a contract signing on SmackDown. Orton slaps Taker across the face, and he just runs out of the ring. And so Orton starts to get more cocky by the weeks, and he finally turned heel by RKOing his then girlfriend Stacy Keibler. So on the final SmackDown before WrestleMania, Cowboy Bob Orton come out and to say, you know, please take it easy on Randy, you know, he's only young and all that, and not to hurt him too bad. But that was only just a setup for Randy to hit the RKO on The Undertaker. So, yeah, the match was really damn good. This definitely really showed what kind of a great athlete Randy Orton can be. So, during the end of this match, Bob Orton tried to interfere and hit Taker with his cast, and that almost cost him the match. And so Taker went for a chokeslam, but it got countered in midair with an RKO, which just I love that so much. It's such a great looking spot. And so Randy Orton tries to end it with the Tombstone Piledriver on Undertaker, but then Undertaker reverses it into his own Tombstone for him to get the win. So yeah, this was a great match in my opinion. It definitely elevated Randy Orton a lot more. And although he did not beat the Undertaker, he still would become one of the biggest stars in WWE the 2005 and the coming years. So yeah, great stuff overall. After that, we get to the Women's Championship match. Trish Stratus taking on Christy Hemme with Lita in her corner. So Christy Hemme won the 2004 Diva Search contest, and she also became the cover girl for Playboy magazine, which was a perfect fit for her. God, Christy Hemme's so hot. And Stratus was a little bit jealous of her, rising success. So she attacked her during the cover unveiling for a Playboy shoot. And so Trish, being the nice girl that she is, she was heel around this time, spray painted the word slut on her back. So yeah, good one, Trish. And so Christy later revealed that she was going to be trained for a women's title match by Lita. I believe Lita was hurt at this time. I think so, yeah. So the match itself was okay, and so Christy's ability was also okay. Obviously, she's much better as a announcer or a valet, which is why I think TNA used Christy Hemme perfectly when she jumped over to them. But yeah, it was alright, I guess. Trish won with the chick kick on Christy, and that kind of sealed the deal right there. So after that, oh my god, Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle. I could just leave it there. And you already know what type of quality match this is going to be. But for storyline purposes, at the Royal Rumble match, the 2005 one, Shawn Michaels eliminated Kurt, and Kurt was being a sore loser about it, so he throws Michaels out of the match and just attacks him afterwards. But Kurt Angle says, this goes beyond the Royal Rumble. This is about when I won the gold medal in 1996 for wrestling at the Olympics. All I heard about was this Shawn Michaels guy winning the WWF title in an amazing Iron Man match. So Kurt would just go on to attack people that was close to Shawn Michaels, like Marty Jannetty and Sherry Martel, and would just lock them in the ankle lock. And so the matchup for this was just fucking incredible, man. It's just an incredible showcase between two of the best wrestlers ever, with some great false finishes. My favorite would probably have to be when Kurt went for the angle slam from the top rope, but Michaels just kicks out before 3, which was just the type of stuff where you have to watch on the edge of your seat. It was so damn good. Angle tried to suplex HBK off of the ring apron, but got kicked in the nuts when the ref wasn't looking. And then Shawn Michaels dived from the second rope to the announce table, but it didn't break. And Michael Cole covered it up by saying, the tables have been reinforced with steel, which was a nice little save there. So it ended with Michaels tapping out to the ankle lock after trying his hardest to fight through, but it just wasn't enough for him to keep going. So yeah, this match was just amazing. It just was a great showcase of two of the best pure wrestlers at the time in WWE. It was a fantastic contest. So after that, Rowdy Roddy Piper hosts an episode of Piper's Pit, with his guest being Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he welcomes him to the show and slaps him across the face. And Austin replies with, "Thanks for having me, you son of a bitch," and slaps him back. And the two start throwing shots at each other throughout this segment until Carlito shows up, who was, man, I miss Carlito, dude. He was cool, no, pun intended. And he basically says to him, you know what, neither of you guys are cool. And while he's just throwing his apple in the air, and Piper's just like, who the hell are you? You look like alfalfa. So he wants both men to get out of the ring, but then Piper takes his apple and in a sweet moment of karma for Carlito, Piper bites into the apple and spits it in Carlito's face, because that was Carlito's gimmick. He would eat apples and just spit them in people's faces. Carlito then goes after Piper until Austin then goes after him, and then a thumb to the eye by Piper, and then he gets hit with a stunner and then gets thrown out of the ring. So Austin and Piper after that have a beer bash in the ring, but then Austin hits Piper with the stunner and he continues celebrating. So this was a nice little segment, very, very entertaining after the incredible match that went before it. So yeah, good stuff. Good little segment there. So what wasn't good though was the sumo match between Akebono and the Big Show. Why did this need to happen? You really couldn't find anything else to put the Big Show in. You couldn't have found another wrestler for the Big Show to face, you know. But Akebono wins, and yeah, that was a thing that happened on the show. After that was the WWE Championship match. John Bradshaw Layfield, or JBL, defending his title against John Cena. So JBL had held the WWE title at this point since the Great American Bash in June of 2004. He beat Eddie Guerrero for the title, and he basically didn't want someone like John Cena holding the WWE title. So because he was the complete opposite of what JBL was. JBL was this arrogant, obnoxious, like Wall Street cowboy type guy. So he would come out in these limos and just throw money in people's faces, and just JBL has to be one of the best heels of the last 20 years. He knows how to make people fucking despise him. It was just incredible, especially in 2005. Like, he even screwed Cena out of the US Championship and destroyed his spinning US title. And Teddy Long decided to put a stipulation between the two during the build-up where if Cena hit JBL, his match at WrestleMania would be cut. But if JBL hits him, Cena gets to hit back. So after Cena vandalizes his limo, he had Cena arrested the next week and basically kicked him in the guts while handcuffed. So, yeah, a lot of animosity between the two in this build-up. So JBL even comes out to a police escort surrounding his limo, and he also has money flying down from the rafters into the crowd, and it was just money with his face on it. So, yeah, it was just awesome. And John Cena came out with the support of the crowd, which would not be the case at next year's WrestleMania, but they told a decent story in this match. I feel like in-ring wise, it wasn't that good, but for the story that they were telling, it was good. It was alright. So the ending came when Cena ducked the clothesline from hell and hit JBL with the FU to win his first of many, many, many WWE titles. It was probably a game-changing moment for the WWE, because this would be the start of Cena's rise to the top, basically. And later on, he would basically become the face of the WWE and become the next Hogan, Austin, someone of that caliber. So, yeah, it was a pretty important moment for the WWE. So, I guess you could say the time was now for John Cena. So, the 2005 Hall of Fame class come down to the entranceway to wave to the crowd. So it was Cowboy Bob Orton, Nikolai Volkov, the Iron Sheik, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, Jimmy Hart, Rowdy Roddy Piper, and Hulk Hogan. So just about everyone who was involved at the very first WrestleMania. So a nice little nod to the wrestlers of 20 years ago. I actually really like that. So there were a lot of celebrities in attendance, and I mean a lot. And there were some big names as well. There were Adam Sandler, Rob Schneider, David Arquette, Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top, the Black Eyed Peas, Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins, who is now actually the owner of the NWA, Anthony Kiedis from Red Hot Chili Peppers, which I love Red Hot Chili Peppers, man. And also shout out to Campbell if you're watching this. He's a huge fan of Red Hot Chili Peppers. Ice Cube was also in the crowd. Carmen Electra, Sylvester Stallone, Marg Hellenberger from CSI was in the crowd. Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons. Rick Rubin, famous music producer. Will Sasso, and Macaulay Culkin. So yeah, big names watching WrestleMania. But it's time to talk about the main event. For the World Heavyweight title, Triple H, with Ric Flair in his corner, taking on the Animal Batista. So, Batista won the 2005 Royal Rumble and got to decide what title he could challenge for. And Triple H was doing everything in his power to convince Batista not to face him at WrestleMania and to go to SmackDown to face JBL for the championship. So, in one of my favorite moments in Raw history, they have the contracts to see if Batista's going to go to Raw or SmackDown to see what title he's going to challenge for. So it looks like he's going to pick SmackDown, and so he's got the thumbs up to Triple H and Ric Flair, but then slowly puts the thumbs down, and one of the best face turns in all of wrestling, just beats the shit out of Triple H and challenges him for the world title at WrestleMania 21, which leads us to here. So Motorhead performed Triple H's theme song during his entrance, which is always great to see. And it was basically a battle between Batista's strength and Triple H's knowledge of the ring. So it was a good dynamic. I really liked it. And Triple H went for a pedigree on the steel steps, but Batista reversed it into a slingshot into the ring post, which busted open Triple H really badly. Triple H tried to hit Batista with the world title, but he just manages to kick out at 2. And in the end, Batista powers out of a pedigree to hit him with the Batista bomb to win the World Heavyweight Championship. The Beast has been unleashed, as JR said on commentary. Really good main event. I actually really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot more than Cena and JBL, actually. So I'm glad this went on last. So it was just a really good story overall, with Evolution kind of crumbling in front of Triple H. This was just a great match to make a big star in Dave Batista, and he would basically just hold that World Heavyweight title for the rest of the year. It was such... I think the most important thing that WrestleMania 21 will basically be remembered for was the rise of Batista and Cena, those two would become like the two biggest stars in the company for the next at least 5 to 10 years. So, yeah, that's how we ended the show there. Match of the night, Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle. It was just so good, man. It's Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle. How can it not suck? How am I going to rate this show? I'm going to give this show an 8 out of 10. I really, really enjoyed this WrestleMania, man. The two world title matches was good. I thought Triple H and Batista were a lot better than Cena and JBL. Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle was amazing. The opening match and the Money in the Bank ladder match was really good, but the only pretty bad thing about it was the sumo match. That just really didn't need to happen. But overall, good stuff. This was a great WrestleMania in my opinion. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this review. I hope you have enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Comment down below your thoughts on WrestleMania 21. If you want to see more from me, hit that subscribe button. You'll be glad you did. Twitter and Instagram is at JackmanLaw31. If you want to check me out there, thank you so much for watching, and I'm out in 3, 2, 1.